Opinions, viewpoints, and beliefs presented on this program do not necessarily reflect those of the management, the affiliates and broadcast partners, or the sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Scarefest Radio, the radio you can see.
And good evening, and welcome everyone to the council meeting on Scarefest TV. Interesting little side note, I have literally been at my desk in my studio all day, and I feel less prepared than I have felt in the last 10 months. Don't ask why. But anyway, I do want to say a quick welcome if anybody's watching on Twitter tonight, because I found out by accident today that Twitter is now accepting video feeds again. And so I said, well, let's just plug that bitch in and see if it works. Of course, we have Adrian and Brandon with us tonight, and we're going to be telling you, you've noticed a little flurry, I would call it a little flurry of activity since we've been back from Gatlinburg this week, as in celebrity announcements and photo ops and all kinds of cool stuff. So, we're celebrating tonight. And yes, everyone, at the bottom of the hour, I will still have you two more celebrity announcements, and I gotta say, I'm really fond of one of them, because he's my age. Just so you know. Hint! Okay! So, what's everybody doing tonight?
I would like to know at what point during the show we get to hear about Wes's bear story.
Yes, I need to tell my bear story.
Wes's bear story.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was there.
Brandon was there, and he was an integral part of it.
I think Brandon pushed Wes out of the way to get in the room.
No, I think he tried to push me out to where the bear was, maybe.
No, I was actually I was the savior in that. Like I even actually I went to look for the bear.
Yes, that's what I will say. When I went to photograph the bear, all I got was Brandon's ass because he was right there. Okay, everybody, here's what happened. I should have downloaded.
Not because I had pants down. Like my pants were up. It's not like I don't want anybody to think that my pants were off and I was chasing a bear.
Brandon and I were sitting out on the deck by the pool, you might say. The railing was there. But we were basically just chilling out for the evening. And, yes, we were drinking a little bit. But the point of it that wasn't the point of it. The point of it was that we were sitting there just chatting. And now, preface the story with there was a black cat walking around the parking lot. And I wanted to take a picture of the black cat and post it on Facebook, say, "Ooh, I see my first Gatlinburg bear." Now, fast forward about 10 minutes, we're just sitting there, and I look down the aisleway, alongside the hotel, and I see a bear. Now, at first, the bear's just meandering, and so, nothing to panic about. I figure he's going to walk out in the parking lot. So I reach over to tap Brandon on the shoulder, say, and about the time I do it, the bear goes into a run. Now, I'm not talking about a charge, but it was...
No, you didn't reach up to pat me on the shoulder. You jumped up out of your chair.
Either way, the words...
No, it wasn't like you were calm.
No. I want to make it very clear. I was not calm.
Me, sir.
I'm sorry.
There's a large bear walking down the aisle.
I do not wish to imply that I was calm, but I do remember saying, "Brandon Bear," and getting your attention. So anyway, Brandon
Bear is not the words of a calm person.
Hey, but it was much more calm than what I did about 20 seconds later. Anyway, so the bear had gone into a charge at this point. Brandon, quite smartly, stands up from his chair. Hotel room's not locked. Steps inside the door, and I believe he was holding the door open for me so that I could join.
Well, I thought you were right behind me.
Well, I was about to go back to get my cigarettes or something.
No, They're holding the door open.
Yeah.
And like, I don't see you running in behind me so that we can cower together.
What?
I see the bear just dart towards the pool.
It would have been, my luck would be one of those bears that likes to eat cigarettes and cell phones. And so I just, anyway. So I turn back to the door. Now I'm basically in the door of the hotel room and the bear's running down. Now, admittedly, the bear probably just glanced my way because I was a human standing there in the doorway. But it looked to me, when a bear's at a full run, when he looks at your open hotel room, that there is a good possibility that said bear might want to run in that said hotel room.
I mean, I had a whole mountain of picnic baskets in that room. I'm not risking that.
I was thinking, okay, I wasn't worried about our safety. I was more worried about the $3,000 worth of electronics that Brandon was charging in our room that night. I said, we'll be on the news tomorrow night. Gatlinburg Bear runs in and destroys electronics. Anyway. So I don't know what else you're supposed to do. All I know is if a cow comes running at me, I throw my arms up
Play dead,
and I yell. Yeah. That's something the Bears started that rumor, Brandon. The Bears started that. So I threw my hands up and I yelled, "Hey!" Because that's what you yell at a cow. Well, I don't know if I actually scared the bear or if he just said, I don't want to deal with it. I don't know. He diverted. And I actually did take pictures of the layout. I'm going to map it out one day so I can post this and actually show everybody. But the bear did turn away from our hotel room. And you know what? Bears can climb fences really, really fast. I did not know that. He got away from our hotel room, jumped in the pool. Now, I'm sure he didn't clear the fence in one leap. But
well, hold on now. He didn't jump into the pool like Greg Louganis.
I'm sorry.
Like
The pool area.
jumped into the pool,
area. I'm sorry. Yes, the bear remained dry. The bear remained dry. But
so it was a dry bear ass.
yeah.
Okay.
Now, my own ass was it. I'll put it this way. I don't know a lot of people, but now me and Brandon are now in the We Saw a Bear from 10 Foot club.
Right.
So,
Well,
no, that bear and me met face to face when I walked around the corner.
yeah, when you were
Like,
taking
so-
these pictures.
when you
Yeah,
went to
so I was taking the video, but then I stopped, and then the bear jumped the fence, and then I walked around to, I guess, get another glance at the bear. Except the bear had the same idea, I guess.
I
And
really want
I
those
met
cigarettes that
the corner
bear
of
was
the
thinking.
shed. Yeah, I met it at the corner of the shed behind the hotel,
oh my
and I
God.
thought there was a fence there, but there wasn't. It was just bear. And so I met the bear like we were this far apart from each other, and that thing like absolutely turned around and ran like I was Grizzly Adams. Like it totally ran off, didn't see it again. And then I watched like 4 jackholes with golf putters.
That was a fun
going
part.
parking lot.
When I yelled bear, that apparently was enough to wake up the entire regular Fender for Super 8. It was in Super 8. Everybody opened
Yeah,
their
so every
doors.
suburban night from like I guess it was vacationing that weekend in the hotel, apparently came armed with
Putters.
like golf putters. It's like the equivalent of Frankenstein and pitchforks and
Yeah, about like you said,
Big
a bunch of kids ran, and they were chasing the bear. Their intent was to confront that bear with those putters because it wasn't like guarding their door. They were out in the parking lot looking around. Hey, did you see the kid with the airsoft gun though, Brandon?
oh yeah.
The other kid came out with an airsoft gun, and I'm thinking,
I just don't know how many news articles I've seen that say bear bludgeoned to death. Like you just don't see it very often.
you at least need a wood or a 9-iron, I would think.
I mean, these were kids. They were like in their teens.
You may see an
I
article that says dumb tourists chasing bear with golf clubs eaten.
Theoretically,
Well,
they could have stabbed
Apparently,
him.
the entire was it like the '80s had that movie Grizzly. Like nobody went out in the woods with a putter.
No.
Like
I
who the
did-
hell does that? And
I
like
did-
there was an adult there behind them, and I was like, guys, that's not a good idea. And they just kind of looked at me and was like, yeah, we're just gonna keep going. which is basically the formula for every horror movie.
When I found out about this on Monday afternoon, I called that hotel to see if they had a security camera that was anywhere around that area that may have captured this glorious Wes Brandon bear moment so that we could share it with you all. Unfortunately, their budget does not allow for them to have a camera system that records more than 24 hours at a time. So it did get recorded over.
But when these guys were walking out there, like I felt like Crazy Ralph from Friday the 13th. It's like, it's got a death cuss. And like they just kept going. Like if you have somebody like pedal up on a bicycle and say, you're going to Camp Blood, you don't do it. Like you're going to chase a bear with a putter. Don't do it.
Yeah.
But I really believe that the whole video thing is cover. But just in case, I'm going to check with my contacts at the airport because I know there are countless satellite footage of me peeing around different places. So I'll see if they put that in that folder.
Okay.
Well, I do want to give Wes props though, real quick. I'm booking a hotel where the pool actually had water in it.
Oh, that's good. Good job.
I
Wes.
want to say, and our hotel room smelled delightful.
Okay.
My only real complaint was they done some remodeling because if you actually researched it, which I didn't before I checked before I made the reservation, they were getting known for having some structural issues.
Oh.
But like I said, they've done some remodeling. But our bathroom, okay, when apparently they replaced our bathtub, and they replaced it with a nice walk-in square shower, very nice.
Yeah.
But they left the curtain rod up from apparently what used to be the round-shaped tub. So it was nearly impossible to take a shower without just flooding the bathroom floor.
Oh my gosh.
So they're going to need another remodel in just a year or two.
Right. For water damage.
Yeah, that might be on their agenda. Who knows? But once again,
right.
I do want to let people know that if you're in Gatlinburg and you go to Smoky Mountain Fan Fest or otherwise, if you're down by the TGI Fridays next door, you can rent a scooter for 24 hours for $60, and it is well worth the price of admission.
Even though he only rode it up the hill one time to our hotel room.
No, 3 times because I kept forgetting shit in my hotel, and I'm going to tell you right now. On Sunday, that thing was worth every penny after like the 3rd trip of me forgetting something, even though the battery was completely drained when I drove it up to them and they looked at me like I was the devil.
It was fun because I was like, okay, we were coming back from TGI Fridays and Brandon's on his scooter. Took him like halfway up the hill before he actually found the speed that he didn't like leave me like,
it was fine-tuning adjustment.
You didn't rent Wes a scooter?
No, I told Wes he could use my scooter.
Not in his budget.
He didn't want to.
He offered.
You must walk.
Yes.
I offered him my scooter. I told him he could either sit on my lap, take the scooter, or he could hold on to the back of it. And I told him that we could alternate off, and he said no. He works on a farm, and he didn't want my goodwill. Okay. But it was funny when I pulled up to TGI Fridays and like Dave Sheridan from Scary Movie and then Felissa Rose are in there. And then, of course, Nicole and Scarlett. And Scarlett stayed on that thing for like, I don't know, an hour that night. She loved the scooter.
Oh
my gosh.
R.A. tried to steal it from me the next day.
I bet he did.
The only thing that would have really, it was funny. We had a lot of fun out of it. But I will say, I told Brandon, if one person, like, waves him in front of them because of the invalid on the scooter, I was out of there.
Well, I did that thing like, I've had friends of mine that have parked, like when we've gone to like Walmart, this was in Jackson when we were kids and it was late at night, park in the handicap spot. And I'm not a proponent of that in any way, shape, or form, but I've had people that do that. And buddy of mine did that a couple times. When we got out, he would limp when he was walking in. And so I felt the need, it was like almost subconsciously, like when I parked my scooter and got up, I kind of acted like my back was hurting or that I had a bad knee because I did not want judgment. So that's my, yeah, I cop to that. Yeah, but they had extra scooters. It's not like I stole a scooter from someone that needed it.
Okay.
So full disclosure.
Well, our Bear and Gatlinburg shenanigans, I think, have brought us at least a quarter of the way through the show.
Yep. Good call.
Yeah, it was a fun time. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I actually Smoky Mountain Fan Fest this year. Like, I think Ty and them put on a great show. You know, you had a lot of good horror icons that were there. R.A., Felissa, those guys stayed busy. Joel Murray was there, which was cool. Robert Mukes was in the house.
Awesome.
They had the Beaver, which was really sad because Wally passed away like right before that, so a lot of people didn't think Beaver was going to show up. But yeah, I thought tying them, like, compared to last year to this year, you know, attendance was up. He had a really good lineup. It was a good show. I think that they'll continue to grow it. And we actually met quite a few folks that, you know, we hadn't planned on that worked out really well for us. And there's a lot of cons down in Chattanooga and Knoxville that we didn't know about that we were able to meet. So we met some more promoters, which is always fun.
Very cool.
The guys from FrankenCon were there. I got to hang out with Richard, Matt, and all those guys. So that was a lot of fun. You know, they're working on some really exciting stuff this year.
Oh yeah, so FrankenCon's super VIPs are already sold out for next year.
Yeah, and I think they're expanding on the days and everything. So
yep.
Like if you
double the size.
Yeah, if you weren't at that show last year, like, I think that's one that's up and coming, and you definitely want to check out. Like, I was very pleased with FrankenCon, and those guys are out there, you know, doing the same thing that we're doing, you know, hit the streets and
pounding the pavement.
Yeah, and you gotta do that. That's how you meet people. That's how you make friends. Jim from Mountain Oddities was down there.
Yep.
He's got a life-size merman that he's bringing in this year, which if you go over to the website, you can see that, which is pretty cool. The damn thing's like 6'3", I think. Jim's like 7 foot, I think. So like it stands eye to eye with him almost.
Oh my gosh.
Let's pop over to our first commercial break. Everybody, we'll be back with more. We'll talk a little bit more about Gatlinburg, and then we'll be telling you about Scarefest stuff. Don't forget, I got celebrity announcements coming up in just a few minutes.
Everyone is talking about CBD oil, and it seems like almost everyone is using it. The research is ongoing, but the apparent health benefits are overwhelming. If you're going to use CBD products, though, what brand should you buy? First, find out where the hemp was grown. Imports are flooding the market. How potent is it? Look for a brand that plainly states its concentration on the label. And look for full spectrum CBD. This means the oil contains CBD and all the other cannabinoids, terpenes, and nutrients that are found in the entire cannabis plant. Look for Blue Leaf CBD oil. Blue Leaf Naturals is a Kentucky proud company. They use only Kentucky-grown hemp, supporting Kentucky farmers and businesses. Visit their website at blueleafcbd.com now and use the code SMILE at checkout for free shipping.
Welcome back, everybody, to Scarefest TV. Like we were saying, we had a great time down to Gatlinburg for Smoky Mountain Fan Fest. With my luck, though, it'll be like Ty said, and he'll freaking move it next year to either Pigeon Forge or Sevierville. Now that we figured out where the close, easy hotels are.
Yeah, that's about how it goes.
Yeah, so.
Okay, next year we're not. If he's having it in Gatlinburg, Wes, I will flip the penny to not walk up that hill.
Well, we know the name of the hotel where you don't have to walk down.
Right. So we're not booking up the hill anymore.
No, I'll put it this way. We're
not getting any younger, Wes. We're not getting any younger. Every year
we have to check the altitude of the convention hall and the altitude of the hotel and make sure that we're on the same plane.
How many
so we
bears
don't have to-
are close?
Actually, I'm fairly sure the cardio did me good.
Good. That's good.
I felt better Sunday morning than I did by the time we drove home. I'll put it that way after sitting in the car all day. But
Oh, I know. Yeah.
the other story I want to tell is, okay, Brandon, first of all, he felt better this year than when we went last year, but I'm an early riser, even at conventions, and so I get up at 6:30, and I tried to make.
Oh my God, this was fucking torture. I'm sorry.
But
That's your effort for the show.
7 a.m. every morning. Wes is like brushing his teeth.
You know what? I don't want to hear it because every time we go anywhere, I always room with Wes, and he always gets up early. And you just gotta you gotta be a stronger sleeper. I don't know what to tell you.
I try not to make too much noise, but I try to be like those alarm clocks that just kind of gently wake you up little by little.
Yeah.
But Saturday morning. Okay. Well, anyway, where this story was going.
Go ahead.
Saturday morning, we had to be at the convention center. We were supposed to be at the convention center about 9 a.m. to finish setting up. Now, Wesley wanted breakfast. Now, I will say that is one reason I didn't want to waste any time. I wanted my pancake house non-pancake breakfast. That just bugged me. That's the way they list down their menu. Non-pancake. Feel like I'm a bigot. But anyway, so at 7 o'clock, I said, Brandon, I said 7 o'clock, and you had an alarm that went off too. But he said, well, I better call Nicole. Okay, how can I describe this? If you ever want to have fun, apparently, call Nicole at 7 a.m. It's like calling a Rottweiler.
Oh, my wife is. I love her dearly, but she is not a morning person. And
she growled, Adrian. She fucking growled. Okay. Why are you calling me at 7 o'clock?
I'm pretty sure that when we went to Dallas and I was asleep in bed, and now I go to sleep really late. Anybody that is ever around or on Facebook that will see me on Messenger until all hours of the night. So I have to flip my schedule when I go anywhere for shows or anything. So I had very specific time to sleep. It's like 5 hours I was going to get to sleep. And then this motherfucker, Wes, comes in the room and he's like, wheels up in an hour. So where I'm from, wheels up, when you're talking about going to an airport, means the plane is going to take off in an hour. So I jolt out of bed, terrified that I've overslept. And he just meant that we had to leave our hotel room in an hour to get on a bus, to go to the airport, to wait for 2 hours for the airplane. I was so mad.
Well, let me say this. Nothing makes you feel worse than when you wake up and you're a grown-ass adult and like Wes is sitting in the chair beside the TV, just sitting there like Anton from No Country for Old Men. Like, I was like, Jesus, I haven't even gotten out of bed yet. And he's like sitting there like reading the paper.
Yeah, he's all ready to go, and he's all chipper, and he's already got his cigarette, and he's gotten dressed.
Oh yeah, I don't smoke that for back then. But I do want to say
the pancake house. I'm telling you right now, whatever the name of that place was, if you ever want to go to some place where you want your drink filled before you can even get a quarter of a way full through it, this was the place to go. I want these people to fill out volunteer applications for Scarefest.
The first day especially, I mean, you take a sip of coffee and the woman was standing behind you, like
waiting to
fill it back up. Now I have to interject. In Dallas, taking into consideration, Adrian, I'd already missed one plane.
Okay, I understand. But I didn't.
Are we ever gonna let that shit go?
No.
Like, okay, I got it. We missed a flight. Like, right. I shelled out like $1,000 extra for us to get on a plane. like I've paid for my mistakes is what I'm saying here.
Well, yeah, I mean, but you're never gonna live that down. Never, not once.
I know.
Evidence of it, but
It's the second time I've missed a flight.
I will say that the last like 3 times that I've flown for Scarefest, the person sitting directly next to me on a completely booked airline did not show up. So I have had elbow room the last 3 times that I've flown. The whole plane will be full, but magically the one person that's supposed to be sitting next to me doesn't show up. So, maybe it was my fault you missed the plane.
I never catch flights, and like my travel plans always change. Like I've got tickets right now at Chicago O'Hare Hyatt.
Yeah, for right now.
Yeah, like I was going to Flashback this weekend.
Yep.
I've never been, and I bought weekend passes, bought the flight, bought the hotel, and can't go.
Also, I would like to point out to everybody, we were out at dinner on Wednesday, and Brandon's like, oh, yeah, by the way, like, I've got passes and plane tickets and a hotel for Flashback weekend. And I'm like, mid-bite, about to take a bite of brisket. And I look at him, and I'm like, I'm not going to Chicago. Don't look at me.
I was all about it, too, because, like, Steve Miner is going to be there, I think. And I'm a huge Friday Part 3 fan. And it doesn't look like Steve's going to be able to do our show.
Right.
And so I was like, man, I really want to kind of see Steve Miner. But I've never been to that show, and also just kind of wanted to see what it was like.
Yeah. Well, do we actually want to, because we're almost at the half of the hour, do we actually want to talk about our show at all, or?
Oh, well, yeah. But
do we? I mean, really, I'm asking.
It's going to hit on everything.
I am all about talking about other shows.
I will gladly take the Pepsi challenge with anybody.
We can go long.
No,
we can go long.
Well, yeah. So you're going to be taking the tortilla challenge before too long, Brandon. I got something in the works on that. So you just, make sure you keep your face real nice and shaved.
Well, I tell you what.
This is all that grows in. So I'm good.
You mean to tell me that you are so ingrained with white trash DNA that your hair just grows in all white trashy like that?
You don't. You're still on my lines. I've been saying that for years now. like a wolf man with mange. Like I'm 43 and I can't get sideburns. This is it. Stops right there.
If you will pay for the operation, I will let you transplant the hair from my back to any part of your body you want. So there.
It's all right. If I was going to do that, I'll just in the shower for free the next time we go to Smoky Mountain.
Anyway, okay. Tell you what, let's do our commercial break. We'll come back. We'll drop celebrity announcements, and then we'll actually talk about Scarefest. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Fair.
Spirit Mechanics is here to help. Their background includes many different specialties across the metaphysical spectrum, including alchemy, shamanism, Celtic witchcraft, angelic magic, astral travel, and more.
With over 30 years combined experience in the group, you can be confident in their ability to help. If there is a question you have that you cannot answer, they will do their best to assist you.
Metaphysics can be intimidating, confusing, and unfortunately, abused. Spirit Mechanics takes pride in being selfless in the pursuit of helping others, being humble and honest with their clients about their questions, and lastly, maintaining a professional and personable atmosphere. They want you to feel as you are coming to a close friend, and they will do everything in their power to make you comfortable and safe.
And this year for Scarefest 14, we welcome Lisa Zane to Lexington, Kentucky. In addition to her numerous roles horror fans will recognize, her breakout performance as Maggie Burroughs in Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare. Maggie, it turns out, is the daughter of Fred Krueger, who leads to the... Spoiler alert, Brandon!
Oh my God. Look, this came out when I was in high school. If you haven't watched it by now, you're shit out of luck.
But anyway, so
it turns out she's Freddy's daughter, and this was actually like the only one that was in 3D. Like this was the only, because I like when Nightmare on Elm Street came out, it was all in the 80s, so I couldn't get in a movie theater to watch any of this stuff. This was the first one that was released when I was old enough to actually go in and watch it, and they did it in 3D, which was cool. Now, the story line may, in honesty, may lack a little bit luster from previous renditions, but the overall product, like you had the Power Glove, which was awesome. Like some of the effects in this was crazy, and like the 3D stuff, I thought was really cool. But it was about the experience. And Lisa, who played Maggie, aka Catherine, like I thought was phenomenal in it. And I didn't even realize she was Billy Zane's sister when I watched this, but I thought she did an excellent performance. And this one holds a special place in my heart, just because it was the only one that I watched in the theater. Went and watched it with all my friends, and I thought it was a really, really good movie. Plus, when she puts the glove on and she goes like this, then takes him out at the end, that was pretty cool.
Next up, this is the one I was waiting for. Dee Wallace. Scarefest 14 welcomes the truly iconic Dee Wallace to Lexington. Originally from Kansas City, Kansas, Dee Wallace has worked as an author, teacher, dancer, and actress in film, television, and stage for over 40 years. With over 200 credits to her name, Ms. Wallace is a true tour de force in the industry, working with countless producers and directors and some of Hollywood's biggest names, including Steven Spielberg, and drop a bunch of names here. Her many film credits include The Hills Have Eyes, The Howling, Cujo, which might have been the first actual horror movie that I actually remember watching, Secret Admirer, and The Frighteners, and of course her role as Mary in Steven Spielberg's E.T. the Extraterrestrial. And let's not forget, wasn't she in Death House?
She was in Death House. She was in a bunch of those movies. I stuck to the core. Like I didn't mention Popcorn. Like, has anyone seen Popcorn?
No.
No.
For the love of God. So I've got a one sheeter of Popcorn, like the original release. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, and that's probably what I'm most excited about. Second being Hills Have Eyes. Third being Critters.
Good. Well, now we know where Brandon stands.
Okay, listen, if you haven't watched Popcorn, you need to watch it. I found an original VHS at Smoky Mountain this past weekend.
Oh.
And I was really super excited about it. We opened it up, and the film, like, it was all, like, couldn't watch it.
Oh.
And so the guy that was the vendor is offering to go back and get one that's a working copy and put it with a completely refurbished case.
Nice.
Sorry, nobody wants to hear me talk about that, but I got super excited about it, so it is what it is.
Okay.
But this rounds out a good, solid Hills Have Eyes reunion, which, unless I'm just completely defunct at math, I think we're in 45 years now.
Yeah.
So, Susan, Janice, Mike, Dee. I wanted to do this last year because the opportunity kind of presented itself, and we had Michael, but then we ended up having the opportunity to bring Michael back this year. And I was like, holy crap, if we're doing Robert Englund, I mean, this makes a good chance to do a Wes Craven kind of deal.
Yeah.
Now, I thought it was funny too on the Facebook, like somebody brought up Shocker, which is like one of my favorite all-time movies. And we couldn't get Mitch Pileggi this year, which I'm totally hardcore about doing that next year. But in the meantime, I mean, let's look back at what we've announced this week. I mean, a solid Part 7 New Blood, Kevin Spiritus, Terry Kaiser from Weekend at Bernie's, also Part 7. We've already got Lar, Kane. Like, I think that, and plus the Hills Have Eyes. I haven't seen a Hills Have Eyes reunion in I don't know how long, especially not on the East Coast. I think they did one at Monster Palooza or something a few years back, but nothing on the East Coast. So if you're a Wes Craven fan, I think Lexington's going to be the place to be in October.
Absolutely.
I do have this is not as weird of a question as it sounds when I read it, because we just word this last weekend. We have a question. Someone is coming, and because who was? Oh well. Oh, okay. Terry Kaiser. was in Tammy and the T-Rex. But somebody wanted to know, what are the chances of us getting a T-Rex set up for photo ops? The T-Rex that we saw last weekend, is it coming this year or next year?
I don't know. Nicole talked to them, and they can set up just about anywhere. And it's like a fully this T-Rex they had in the lobby of Smoky Mountain Fan Fest was actually, it was Scarlett's favorite thing the entire week.
It was damn near mine.
Well, I'm gonna be, in all honesty, I wasn't too far behind you guys, but like, it was a really cool setup, and the people that own it are from Winchester, oddly enough.
Oh, wow.
And they knew each other, like Nicole, my wife, like she's a networker, and so that's what she does. I'm an introvert, she's an extrovert. And anyway, we felt like, I mean, we're still working on it, but it would be nice to have them down there. My big thing was, if you're gonna have Terry Kaiser, like, I'm all about a Friday, 7 photo op, but I'm really more about a Weekend at Bernie's photo op, because I want him to sit in a lawn chair and wear a blue windbreaker with glasses.
Don't give it away.
Well,
until you
I
sign
can talk about it here. We're in a safe space.
Yeah. This is a safe
I can talk about what I want to do.
I don't know.
Like, it's kind of like what we had an entire conversation with RA this week about, like, actually having a tow truck come down so we can redo the license to drive photo op, where I plan on dressing as Les, and I'm going to have Nicole dress up as Mercedes, and I'm going to jump on the front end of a tow truck and retake the picture.
I just know that Flashback Weekend posted their Robert England line methodology this week, and it's exactly what me and Adrian's been telling everybody for the last 3 months. Just saying.
That's what we talked about in Texas, and we pitched it to Robert's folks then.
Yeah.
And I think that Flashbacks has done a good job.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think it's going to be a great job, because it's exactly what me and Adrian said.
Exactly.
I think
now what we have to do is watch the comments from this week, see how people react to it, see how it works, and go from there. Yeah. And I think then we've got our answer.
Yeah.
There you go. Let's go ahead. I need to go ahead and do a couple of our sponsoring vendors here. FrankenCon came forward as a sponsoring vendor of Scarefest 2022. FrankenCon, great little convention we attended. Some of us attended down in Tennessee. Look them up on Facebook. FrankenCon this year, they're calling it the Bride of FrankenCon, and then if they have a third one, then they're out of names. Then that one, I forget what Bearcraft makes, and I was going to Google, and I did not do it. Bearcraft. Do they do the little things? What are you laughing at, Adrian? Because I'm so professional that...
Well, Nicole decided to sit down behind me on the couch, and then one dog decided to hump the other dog.
Oh, okay. Well, that's...
We just lost. You're not going to be able to monetize this on YouTube. No, we're talking.
Yeah, I try not to anyway. Okay, let's see here.
I'm sorry, Wes. I was really...
That's what I wasn't looking at the screen at that point. I'm going to click their link on the website. Oh, while we're here, hey, Nicole, come back. Is Scream Queen Bowling going to happen this year? Someone in the chat room wants to know if Scream Queen Bowling is going to happen this year.
We're in the works for Scream
Queen. It's going to happen. We just have to work out. This is where we get every year, guys. We're down to the final hurrah, and it's all about working out contracts and money. Everybody wants more money. We don't want to pay them as much money. And this is where we get every year at this time. But confident we'll be able to work something out. As of right now, in my mind, Scream Queen Bowling is a go.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bearcraft Custom makes neat little wood stuff. Look up on Facebook. Bearcraft Custom. So they're done that. We are still taking staff applications, and apparently still getting several. Because I've been messaged what to do with certain people. But anyway, so if you want to volunteer for Scarefest 2022 and become part of the fun that is the Scarefest family, go to scarefestweekend.com, thescarefest.com. Click the volunteer link and get your application in. The Horror Movie Film Festival of the Scarefest for 2022 closes this month, the end of August. That is your deadline. We have we're just about where we were last year, just under 100 entries. I want to say, I don't know if it was 93 or 98. I didn't have my glasses on. Anyway, the point is, the film festival is coming along. I've got a whole bunch of movies to watch this month, but the Scarefest Horror Film Festival is a thing. And finally, we want to throw in August dates for the Mystical Market, Central Kentucky Mystical Market, coming up in 2 weeks from now. August 13th and 14th at the Clarion Hotel on Newtown Pike. Look them up on Facebook. Just go for Central KY Mystical Market, and you'll find it. There. Okay, now, back to all the goings on of Scarefest. Now we get...
Well, I want to say a couple things that I just remembered. The host hotel blocks are full for everybody that's looking to book your rooms. They have announced a Thursday concert at Rupp Arena. If you have not booked your hotel rooms, if you are intending to come in on Thursday, you need to go ahead and get that done, because this concert will draw a big attendance.
Jesus Christ, is it Jason Aldean?
It's Carrie Underwood, and when we have our next meeting with the center, Brandon, and if any of the ladies from the center are watching tonight, I would like to know where the secret passageway goes, so that at some point on Thursday, I'm going to break away from doing celebrity check-ins, and I'm going to go and watch at least one Carrie Underwood song, because I love Carrie Underwood. So I will be going over there for at least 5 to 6 minutes before coming back. But anyway,
I could just like Jason Aldean, I could not pick Carrie Underwood out of the lineup.
Yeah, it's not Jason Aldean again, but it is Carrie Underwood, but she's on Thursday, more considerate than Jason having a concert on Friday or Saturday night. So it won't affect our show, but it will. If you're coming into town early, you do need to go ahead and get your rooms booked, because that will affect the hotels. Like I said, the Hilton is already completely sold out of our block is totally done for host hotels, and
I think most of the fan blocks are done too.
No, that's what I'm saying. Our fan
I think
block,
the Clarion may have a couple of rooms left, but not much.
Yes, so you need to go ahead and get your rooms blocked over at the Clarion. That is definitely one thing that we need to go ahead and do. The other thing is photo ops. We are adding photo ops. The company that we work with is really busy. They were doing a big show last weekend. They're at 3 shows this weekend, so they're stretched all over the country from the West Coast to the East Coast. But we will be getting these photo ops of the people that we've announced this week. They will be going live, so you can purchase those. And then I am not sure that we have a solid number, but I'm going to find out from Robert's team and Celeb Photo Ops and see how many photo ops Robert can do, and give you all updates when we start getting close to what we think may be maxed out on photo ops. His sales are really high, as you can imagine. So that may be a thing that happens. I don't know. He normally doesn't sell out photo ops, but we normally don't have this many photo op sales this early. So we'll keep you all posted as I know about that. Trying to think of any other questions that we've gotten this week. The floor plan will be changing. We're going to be moving a little bit of things around there. Nothing too dramatic.
While you're thinking, I want to do my Jason Aldean
vendor.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're a vendor, though, like, we're not talking about changing anything that would impact the vendors.
No. Well, we got to move some entertainment stages around and some things like that to make the flow go a bit better. There was if the vendor booths get moved, they're all going to be getting moved, shifted down, not switched around, but the whole rows will get moved down a few feet or, something like that. But no, not flipping any booths. What were you wanting to do, Wes?
My impersonation of the Jason Aldean fan.
Oh, yeah, let's have it.
Well, I don't know what they're doing scheduling that Scarefest on the same night as Jason Aldean. Fucking redneck. Right. I swear to God. That is exactly what he said. Almost verbatim.
That's awesome.
And I just wanted to go over him. I think I was, what night was it? What was I wearing that night? I was wearing my pirate costume.
Oh.
Yeah, I was
I
wearing
don't know, but I know they wrecked the entire front end of the convention center.
Yeah, that was
not cool. I'll take horror fans over Jason Aldean fans.
Yeah, that was definitely a big, like, some shout out to our fans, because we had people lined up out there Friday and Saturday, and there wasn't a piece of garbage on the ground anywhere. And then you came out like Sunday morning, and that place looked like a garbage dump from the concert line the night before. So we really appreciate everybody that comes out and doesn't completely trash our city. That's always appreciated. Thank you for that.
Of course, the Carrie Underwood fans will be kicking like unicorn turds out of the road. But...
Right. No. So let's see, what else have we been working on this week? Wes has been putting some work in on speakers, getting the website updated. There's been a ton of changes on the website. We've gotten some feedback from that. Let's see. Yeah, right now, pretty much from now until the show is when a lot of our logistical things are happening. So, we've got any finalized items that need to be covered in contracts, and then we get into start booking flights and things like that will be coming up soon. Getting all of our events squared away. Nicole is working on the event schedule for the entertainment that's going to be going on during the show and after before the show, during the show, after the show, all of that. So we'll be definitely releasing a lot of information about the events as we get that stuff squared away. We may have one new event or two there. We have been talking about maybe adding one or two new things this year, after show or before show events that will be going on. Getting some details worked out on panels for a lot of these cool reunions. What else are we doing?
Think about it during the commercial break. You'll have an extra long one because we still got Bonehead Weekly coming up. Everybody will be right back.
Horror, movie, fans, for life. On Facebook, find us. For watch parties, for news, for memes, for friends, for life. Horror movie fans for life. Join us.
Hey, Scarefest and everybody out there in YouTube land. This is Joe Lewis with another review of a movie that I thoroughly enjoyed by Scott Derrickson and written by Robert Cargill called The Black Phone, based on Joe Hill's short story. Yes, that is the Kool-Aid man behind me. Yes, I did lift it up so everybody could see it. My friend James told me I should do that. The less I tell you about it, I know you hear this a lot, the better you'll enjoy it. But there's not a lot of twists and turns. What it's about, it takes place in 1978. In Colorado, where kids are being abducted by a masked person who is killing children, and he's called the Grabber. All right. And there's this kid, and his name is Finney, and he has a little sister named Gwen. And he gets beat up a little bit. He's smart, and he gets abducted. And that's pretty much all you really need to know about the movie. To say that I enjoyed this movie is kind of an understatement. It has one of the best, most cathartic endings of a film I've seen, honestly, since Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I always think that Tarantino is one of the best as far as giving us endings that are cathartic, like the bad guy gets their comeuppance and everything happens, and you kind of have a release at the end of it. For like, I just don't know a better way to put it. Just cathartic endings. And Scott Derrickson and Robert Cargill, just see Robert Cargill knock that one out of the park. Finney, that arm is mint. That arm is mint, Finney. And once you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's a tough movie, though. It is about child murder. and it's not going to be for everyone. I was a little afraid before I walked in because I've gotten to be a little bit of a wuss since I have had a child and he's now 5, but some of it's a little hard to take. I would say it's easier to take than Dr. Sleep was a couple years ago. If you saw that, it's particularly one scene. There's no scene in this like this, but there is 4, if not 5, really good jump scares. Ethan Hawke plays the grabber, and he doesn't overplay it. In fact, it's one of his finest performances, considering a lot of times he's behind a mask. The kids in this movie are just fantastic. Mason Thames, or Timms, I don't know how you say his last name, is Finney, and I'd like to talk to Scott Derrickson and ask him, was he trying to make him look like Mike from Phantasm? I mean, because he looks, I mean, it's close. I was wondering if he was trying to make him look like the kid from Phantasm. Madeline McGraw plays Gwenny, his sister, who has a little bit of, lack of a better way of putting it, The Shining. This is based on a Joe Hill short story. Joe Hill, Stephen King's son. All of the cast is fantastic. The story is so good. There is, like I said, I jumped in the theater 3 times. There's 4 or 5 good jump scares, but old curmudgeon me jumped 3 times at least like that. I mean, it got me. It's a lot like, if you're familiar with Scott's other films, it's a lot like Sinister, I would say. It's not quite as scary as Sinister. I think Sinister is one of the really good scary movies made in the last 10, 20 years. But it's probably just art-wise closer to that. He also gave us Doctor Strange, Exorcism of Emily Rose. In fact, I really enjoy most of his movies. You need to go out and see this. I saw it on a matinee and skipped out of I took some vacation time and saw it. It'd been nice to see it in the theater. It was also nice. It would have been nice to see it in the theater with a bunch of people. It was also nice to see it by myself. There's a lot of allusions to other things. I don't want to talk. There was it's like Scott Derrickson. I saw that Starlog rack that gets knocked down during that pinball scene. I saw all those Starlogs. I wish it had more Fangoria. I didn't see those, but it's quick. I'll go back and look later. I appreciate little nods like that throughout. The kids are fantastic. It just has one of those best cathartic endings. The only criticism I have to the movie is it could have been 10 minutes shorter. I know you hear that a lot from me, but I feel like there's about 5 to 8 minutes that we could have cut, and it would have just been pounding. Maybe it'd have been too much, but I think about 5 or 8 minutes, this movie would have been damn near B-movie perfection. And I don't even think I should say B-movie. I really enjoy it. It's some really good acting. At first I was like, oh, this dialogue, but it's just good. I really liked it. So if you get a chance, go out to the movie theater and see The Black Phone. I've recommended it a lot. It's a lot of fun. If you like Sinister, if you like The Exorcism of Emily Rose, you'll enjoy this movie. It's fantastic. So this has been Joe Lewis of Bonehead Weekly. Go out and see The Black Phone. Kool-Aid guy. Oh, yeah.
That might have been Joe's most animated movie review yet. Anyway, to answer a question in the chat room, shuttles. We will be posting, to the best of our ability, a shuttle schedule before the show. But you can count on axe throwing, since it starts at 9. You can bet on the shuttle being about 8:30ish. So that's the answer to that.
Yeah, and everybody that's going to be utilizing the shuttles, you have to understand that we will make a schedule to the best of our ability, but due to circumstances beyond our control with traffic, those schedules may not be accurate. If you're staying at the Clarion and you do want to utilize the shuttle, you want to make sure to get out to the shuttle pickup area earlier than you intend to be at the show. They may not be running right on time, but the drivers, they drive for a living. They're not just people we recruit off the street to drive buses, so they will do their best. But if Lexington police shut the street down again so that concert can walk across the road and you got 20,000 people out there's nothing that they can really do about that. So just please keep that in mind. They do their best, but it is a thing. So what else we got? What else are we working on? All kinds of stuff.
I should have
contracts.
I'll tell everybody we should have the first round of speaker announcements ready for you next Friday. So I was just verifying it with Adrian Day, because neither one of us is very good at math. Apparently.
No.
And
apparently I'm not.
I get the big things too. Like, God, I hate to get anybody's hopes up, but like, I always want to keep people up to.
Don't do it.
Oh man, I kind of
don't do it.
Okay.
We have potentially, right? So we should be done with announcements, and everybody has been praising the lineup, you know, and Brandon especially has done a kick-ass job on the lineup this year. However, we do have potentially some more people in play, up to 6 maybe, that we still need to announce, but they're not confirmed yet. So we may have some more announcements, but right now, and I've made some posts about this on Facebook, you know, we sold out of vendor space in June. We have a list going. We don't have any space, and people are telling us we need to go onto the Rupp Arena floor now, which might cost a pretty penny to do that.
Yeah, everybody who suggests Rupp Arena, understand when you rent that, you're renting 24,000, 30,000 chairs that you can't use.
Yeah, exactly.
That and there's a blue-white game, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, we can't. The space is already. Yeah, for our weekend, there's already other events going on that take up room in the convention center also. So expanding on the space that we have is not an option, but I mean, we have 100,000 square feet plus the hallway. So there's going to be a ton of stuff to do there. It's just, we want everyone to be able to walk around and not be shoulder to shoulder squeezing in between booths. So we do potentially have some more announcements coming. I love you, Nicole.
Two of which that I swear to God, please, Jesus.
Everybody needs to be putting some good energy in on this, because if we can get the 2 that Brandon is most excited about, they will be really rare announcements. We're not talking like headliner announcements, but they are rare.
I've never done a show.
Yeah.
Ever. Like I've been working on for a year. That, oh my God. I get so like there was so much light at the end of the tunnel today that I got so excited that I couldn't contain myself, and I'm sorry. Like I don't want to be cryptic, but like I get so giddy at certain things, and this is one of them. And
we don't want to keep it, but everybody needs to send good energy to Brandon's potential courtship of this contract, because if we can get them, it will be a really, really, really awesome get, because like you said, they've never done shows before, and it would be really great for the people who
we would have something here that has never been done.
Yes. So fingers crossed. Send bourbon.
Anything else on tonight's meeting agenda?
Other than, I just want to say thank you to everybody. You know,
always.
Yeah, like all the volunteers, like everyone that shares a post or sends me a message or you know,
not everybody that sends him a message. That was not an invitation.
Oh no, don't do that. Don't everybody wants an attaboy here every so often, and you know, you guys have messaged out and said, you know, just commented on the jobs that we're doing, and that means a lot. Yeah. And at the end of the day, like, you know, we get really excited. It's like buying a Christmas present for somebody if we can make it happen. Like when we do like guest announcements, like nothing made me happier, and this is the same kind of premise. My oldest boy Bodie, like when I told him that we had gotten Robert Patrick, he's a huge fan of Peacemaker, and he just got so excited about it. And everybody has their different strokes for different folks. Like some people, you know, will light up at D. Wallace. Some people light up at Robert England. But like when people light up and get excited about it, like there's no better feeling. It's just, and when you guys reach out and tell me stuff like that, it means a lot. So I appreciate it.
And on that note, we're going to say goodnight tonight, everybody. We'll be back next week. Like I said, we'll make devote the entire show to speaker announcements, because that's how I like to do things. We'll see you next time.
See ya.